Hey y'all, welcome to the Clan Hernandez podcast. There are literally thousands of other things you could be listening to right now, so thank you for choosing to spend your time with us. Our hope is that as you hear our conversations and stories, that we can provide some good laughs, encouragement, tips for navigating certain difficulties in life, and possibly even new perspectives on God the Father. We love y'all. Let's jump in.
Baby size cup because you can put a
Oh my
baby
God.
in it or whatever.
Dumb.
Okay, anyway, start now.
We already started. This thing's rolling.
I thought we
We're going.
Okay.
All right, baby. So today, guys, we got one of my best friends in the whole world, Brandon J. Walker. He's helping us out,
He's been helping us this whole time.
this entire time helping us out with this podcast. So I appreciate you, bro.
For sure.
Thank you.
So I believe we wanted to kind of talk about just now that we've, you've already kind of gotten a taste of what our podcast is. We just kind of wanted to, maybe cast some vision for the future of the podcast and just goals in general, like what we feel like the Lord wants us to accomplish out of this and out of some of the other things that we're doing in the season as well.
Yeah.
And so this one will be probably a little shorter than the other ones, but
We say that every time and then it's not short.
we'll see.
We like to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so B, you got some questions for us, bro?
Let's start with Brooke.
What?
Brooke,
Okay, yes.
what is something that you want women to get out of this podcast?
I think, it really depends on probably the topic. Ultimately, kind of what we talked in last, man, we got some allergies up in here, y'all. So sorry.
You know what I mean?
So, I think for me, it's ultimately just for women to love Jesus more, love him rightly. I think a lot of times, especially women who, obviously a lot of people listening are going to be Christians. We're going to talk about Jesus. That's
Sure.
the reality of this podcast. And so for me, I want people to not just know Jesus surface level, but want to know him more and rightly. That's really ultimately what I want. Because every topic's going to be different for what a woman could take out of it. But blanket statement, that's what I would say.
Love it.
Nate, what do you expect men to get out of this podcast?
What do I expect men to get out of this podcast? Yeah, I want men to be vulnerable, be willing to be vulnerable.
That's good.
Which is a hard thing for a lot of guys. I think it's a little easier for our generation to be vulnerable because I think we desire authenticity.
Yeah.
We desire, we kind of abhor when we can tell that something's just manufactured and stuff like that. But at the same time, I think a lot of men, people in general, hate being vulnerable. A lot of,
Yeah.
And so, but I think for guys, there's just this added sense of if I show my weakness, there's fear in how my spouse is going to take that. How is my weakness going to affect them? How are they going to perceive me? Or how is my weakness going to, affect the people around me? And how are they going to perceive me? And I think that's why a lot of men don't open up, because of the way we've seen society act when guys, are vulnerable.
Yeah.
And it's not it's a lot of times it's not welcomed the same way that it is with women and children and stuff like that. And so, because I think men is just kind of expected to just, have their stuff kind of tidied up, be a man,
Or just suck it up. Don't talk about it.
to a degree. So yeah, just be willing to be vulnerable, be authentic, don't be afraid to let people in.
It's good.
And so now that you guys have gone through the first introductory season of the podcast, what was your favorite part and what was the scariest part of the last 4 episodes?
Go ahead, baby. You can start.
I think for me, my favorite was just telling our story of overcoming infertility.
Yeah, for sure.
Just, man, every time I tell that story, I just feel Holy Spirit. And I think it's good for me to tell it. Actually, I didn't tell this part whenever we were talking about the doing the podcast, but there was an older lady, you know her, Brandon, you don't know her. She goes to our church, Miss Sharon, and
She's amazing.
Amazing. And
Love you,
long
Miss
story
Sharon.
short,
Appreciate you.
we love you, Miss Sharon. Long story short, she had come up and talked to me one time after Nate and I had led this worship set, and it was all about just like how grateful we were. And one of the things I was like thanking the Lord for was that I had my 2 girls, and I was very emotional. And I kind of told a little bit of my testimony then. And as soon as I did, I felt like, dang, Brooke, you need to stop telling that testimony. Like you overuse that. Like, come on. Like that's good. Like you don't need to keep telling. These are the people who lived it with you. You need to stop. And Miss Sharon came up to me afterwards, and she was like, "Don't ever stop telling your testimony," because she told me, like, obviously she's an older woman. She's not trying to have kids, but she was like, when I heard your testimony, I knew that the Lord worked miracles. Like it reminded me that He's a miracle working God, and He can do it for me. And so since she said that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell my testimony any chance I get. So when I got to tell it, I was just like, man, it reminded me of like just how thankful I am to the Lord.
Well, in different seasons, you can hear the same thing and get new, like, or hear new aspects of it that you didn't hear before.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if it is people that have heard the story, like, who knows why the Lord prompted you to share the story, right? Only He knows, and only the people who are hearing know what they're getting from it. And then at the same time, every time you tell any testimony of yours, there's always going to be someone hearing it for the first time.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and we don't know how that's going to affect them.
Yeah. And I loved it because I got to tell it in its entirety. I rarely get to tell it in its entirety. So I just really enjoyed that. And then the hardest part for me, porn and marriage. That was like definitely the hardest one for me. Just because I think, how do I even say it? I never want to be misunderstood. And I feel like that's a very easy topic for somebody to take one thing you say kind of wrong and be like, well, you're just attacking me. And I don't ever want any woman to ever feel attacked by me. I just want to encourage people to like take a step outside of themselves and try to view the things through the Father. But it's also like, how do you be sensitive in that? Because it is a painful topic. So that one was really like terrifying for me to still,
it's easy for people to hear you did it wrong, or you're doing it wrong, or you're not doing it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's easy for people to hear that.
Even if I'm not saying
even if that's not what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's just, that one was really hard for me.
Yeah.
So.
But I think you did a great job.
Sorry, I was long-winded.
No.
On that.
I feel like you communicated that episode with tact. I think that you did it the way that only Brooke could.
Thanks.
So I'm proud of you, baby.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah, for me, best episode, was definitely, I think I really enjoyed like telling our story about infertility and just kind of how that happened. But I would say equally, I really enjoyed the just my story about my dad and, you know, my biological dad just not being there. And then just kind of how things have progressed with my stepdad and how things have gotten exponentially better in that.
We should do another one probably just on like the redemption story. Like, because I think that would be so powerful for some people to hear.
Yeah. And I think I mentioned this already before, but we're going to have an episode with my brother, my stepbrother, Matthew. And
in the next season.
Yeah, in the next season. And I think we're going to touch on that, right? Just kind of talk about that whole process of, you know, blended families and broken families, and just kind of the whole spiel, and but also just kind of how the Lord has redeemed, you know, certain aspects of that.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah. Hardest for me was equally at the same time the father story and just the porn and marriage thing. I think it requires vulnerability, and there's fear about how people are going to perceive me from here on out. Now that the story is, you know, public, anybody can listen to this whenever they want. You know, it's not like I'm choosing to tell certain people in a closed space and choosing to open up, you know, putting it out there. And I feel like
we
the
put,
Lord.
I feel like at the first season we put all our cards on the table.
Yeah.
Said, here you go, guys.
Yeah. And so that's a scary feeling. It's a scary feeling, being vulnerable to everyone who listens.
Mm-hmm. Or all 10 of you. No, I'm just kidding.
That's funny. Probably. And so you can choose who to tell. You can choose who to open up to, you know, on your own in private, and you feel okay with that. But then once it's like I said, once it's already like, all right, whoever wants to listen will hear
Yeah.
things that I've struggled with, the things that I've dealt with. And
But I feel like it's going to bring freedom to so many.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So, as the road came to this, I know, Brooke, you've been doing the Pin My Love podcast for the last couple of years. Kind of walk everybody through what that journey was to where you two decided, like, hey, I think that we have something that people need. There's something that we dealt with, that we experienced and walked through that can really help others, you know, and giving yourselves that platform and that space to do that. Like, what was that journey like?
Yeah. I really think Nate championed it because I was already kind of getting a little bit of my fix, right? Doing the Pen My Love, because really like my lane is talking about Jesus.
Yeah.
And so I get to do that on Pen My Love. Like I love doing that.
So talk about Pin My Love for a little bit for people who don't know what that is.
Well, we talked about it a little bit in the first episode. It's just me and my friend Monica, we started it, and it's really just we want to encourage women to want to pursue Jesus, the written word, and
the living word.
And the living word. And our podcast is all just about different things about Jesus, Holy Spirit, the Bible, different topics. But it's much more, it's not like how you and I are going, just very, I feel like with this podcast, it's almost more like you're our friend, we're hanging out with you and we're talking. Whereas Pen My Love's much more like, hey, structured. Not much more structured, but is more structured.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
And so I think Nate really championed the idea of us starting a podcast because we do like him and I, how we're talking right now is how we talk all the time.
All the time.
Like just in bed or here on the couch or while we're taking a drive. And I think
even just within our social circle.
Oh, within our circle. Yeah, for sure.
Because we're like, you know, we have, like, I've got a regular everyday job, 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 kind of thing. But I also, you know, we're pastors at a church. And so it's like, we have a pretty wide circle, like in a wide gamut of like the kind of people in our lives. And so we find ourselves telling a lot of these stories often and sitting literally on these couches for hours and hours and hours.
They're so like loved. Look at them.
Sink into the couch.
I know.
We would literally have conversations, maybe not Brooke till 4 a.m.
No, I stay up till.
It's usually like the latest you'll stay up is like 1:30 max.
Oh, I don't. When was the last time I stayed up till 1:30?
It's been a while. That's what I'm saying. It's been a while, but your average is like by 11. By 11, if people are here, you're like, oh, all right, guys, good night. I'm going to bed.
They can stay though. I'm not
you never kick them. That's the point. Is that like we literally have people all the time who, you know, in this same room. We'll talk about anything and everything for hours, and there's already a depth that we're used to with people.
And when you and I are quick to go deep with people, I feel like together as a couple.
Well, yeah, because I think it's just as scary as being vulnerable is. We're also not afraid to be vulnerable. Like
take us or leave us. Like also a lot of the stuff we're talking about, a lot of the things we're talking through, either we're working through it with the Lord, and that's why we're talking about it. Or it's something that we've already like experienced and the Lord's shown us stuff. And so I feel like anything we have to say, it's more than likely Holy Spirit's going to be like, bam.
Yeah.
Not because we're awesome, but because it's just like we're seeking Him.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like I said before, I just think that like our generations coming up, we're tired of things feeling manufactured and like conversations not feeling authentic.
Yeah.
Almost like you can sense when people are afraid to talk about certain things or say certain things because, the church is weird about when we talk about this, or it's like, dude, let's just be real. The Lord already knows this stuff. The Lord's not afraid of these conversations. The Lord's not afraid of your darkness. He's not afraid of any of that. He's in the testimony. He's in it. He wants us to share our testimony. Like, that's part of.
There's power in it.
There's power in sharing our testimony.
And that's just kind of what we want to do. A little bit. We already
We
did.
have overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Yeah.
Come to church on Sunday, 10:30.
Yow.
There we go.
You know
What's
what I'm
up
saying?
next?
Easter
I know,
plug.
right? Overflow Church. Past Easter by the time we post this. Come next year, 2024.
You missed Easter by the time you heard this, but come. We got a new building.
Yeah, that's actually true.
This is
Probably
very
will
real.
have it by the time we post this.
We got a
Okay,
new
anyways, we're sorry, Brandon. Rabbit trailing.
No, you're totally fine. It kind of give everybody kind of a look into your guys' daily life. You know, parents,
Mass chaos. Just kidding.
parents,
For you?
kids,
For me, for real.
work, podcasts, music. It's just, there's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, how do y'all find
The time.
the time and the ability to balance it all?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, just real quick, as a backstory to what we do, like, so Brooke, is a stay-at-home mom as of when Addie was born, about a year ago.
Yep.
Just at a year ago.
Yep.
And, but on top of that, she works at the church.
Part-time.
Part-time. She's our only part-time
Yeah.
staff member. Everybody else, the church.
Bivocational.
Yeah, the church is able to pay us a little bit of money, but it's nobody there's full-time, not even our pastor. Like, we really, anyway, I love that. And so, so she does that for the church, but then on top of that, like we've said before, she is one of the faces of Pen My Love. And then she's a doula on top of all that.
Yeah.
So, helping women with their births, throughout the year, and doing all of that while being a wife, while raising an infant and a toddler.
She's about to be a toddler.
Wild.
Or she will be by the time this is posted. Okay, moving right along.
Yeah. And then for myself, I work for Motorola full time. That's what I do to pay the bills. And then, I serve at the church as a worship pastor. And then
Songwriting.
I'm a part of the leadership team of our songwriting group, and everything involved with that. And we're like, it's a lot planned for that, and so there's a lot.
Yeah, just a lot of
there.
moving parts right now in our life, but it's exciting. I'll talk a little bit about how our day goes because I'm the planner.
Please
if
do.
that's okay with you.
I am not the planner. That is the last thing I am.
So pretty much Nate works Monday through Friday, goes in to his job most days. If he's not in office, he's traveling. So it just depends on the season. Sometimes he travels a lot. Sometimes he doesn't travel much at all. But if he's in town, he's at work from like 9 to 5-ish. 8, sorry, I keep saying 9 because Dolly Parton's playing in my head. 8 to 5. Yep. And so while he's gone, I'm here with the girls. On Mondays, if it's a Monday, I'm going into the church. And then throughout the day, I work mainly from home from the church. And that's crazy. Have to work that around nap time. And then Pen My Love stuff, do it whenever I can. We try to do like, is it batch recording? So we do it all in one day because we're both moms. So we do that quarterly, or we're starting to do it quarterly. And then with being a doula, you don't plan birth. So whenever the baby's born, I actually have 2 girls who are due at any moment. So I'm like always like, I have it on Do Not Disturb, but as soon as we're done, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to make sure no one's contacted me.
You can just go silent.
No, it's fine.
No, their baby can wait.
Their baby can wait for me. I'm just kidding. If you're listening, I will. Well, don't actually think that. But so yeah, that's what we do. And then with Nate, Artisan meets every it's kind of every Tuesday, right?
So we have rights every Tuesday.
But you don't go to a right.
I don't go to every right. I could go to as many as I want, but we got to at least do once a month. But then leadership meetings and just there's a lot there. We have we're gonna do a lot of house shows this chapter. We're gonna do some worship nights for the worship branch part of it.
But it's all, the one thing that's great about Artisan is it's super family friendly. Like maybe the rights aren't family friendly, but like also the fact that like me and Demi, which our friends Chris Martin and Demi Martin started it, and me and Demi are super close. So like anytime Nate writes with Chris or is recording or anything, I get to go over and hang out with my friends. So it kind of works out. Like I don't feel like you're being pulled away from us.
Right.
It's great. So I think that balancing it is crazy because we do have a lot going on. But like, for instance, we are recording this while our children are sleeping.
Yeah.
I wanted to call this Clan Hernandez not After Dark. Nate wanted After Dark, and I wanted
After Dark.
Nah, it's more like a wow wow.
I wanted it to be, y'all come get these two boys. I wanted it to be Clan Hernandez After, what did I say? It wasn't After Dark.
After hours. I think it just said after hours.
Something like that. Something more, less in, what is it when you like?
I know the word you're trying to say.
It's late, I'm tired.
But it's like we're insinuating something.
So anyways, that's kind of what a regular, every day looks different, Brandon. That's what you're trying to say. Every day looks, you understand, you have a kid. Every day looks different.
Yeah.
Oh, he knows.
Every day is different. But I will say, like, it's been, we definitely have had to learn how to balance things. We share a calendar on our phone, and that has been like the
we started doing
best
that years
marriage
ago.
advice I'll ever have.
We have a shared like family calendar, so she will add something to the calendar, and it goes to me.
And
I'll
I
add
don't know if he
something
does
that goes
this,
to her.
but I color code ours. I don't know if you can see that. Do you see it?
No, but our family calendar is yellow.
Our family calendar is yellow.
That's all I know.
Okay.
Is that
right.
it?
That's right.
Is that?
As I'm talking, I'm like, wait, Brooke, you're thinking of your old job.
Yeah,
my old job,
I'm
I
like,
color-coded everything.
She does?
Well, I color-coded in my calendar.
Sure, okay.
But it's not shared to you. Everything.
Sure, like your calendar is color-coded, yeah. But our family calendar is just yellow. So
You're
all
right,
the events that are family are.
Really, I should work on that.
Yeah, girl, get it right.
What am I doing? Fire me. Wait, just kidding. You can't do that. All right. And you got anything else for us?
So, y'all talk about how important friendships are. And obviously in the chaos of everything else, all the other things going on, you're also being friends and creating a space in y'all's home, which y'all have done for years.
Yeah.
So my question is, this is like a personal question for me, like, how do you guys communicate through that and not step on the other person's toes or make the other person feel like their house is invaded or whatever the case is?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of creates some discourse sometimes.
Yeah.
It was something that was harder when we first got married because I'm definitely more of an introvert.
If plans get canceled, Brooke is
Oh
excited.
my gosh. I'm like,
For me, if plans get canceled, I like, nowadays I'm more like Brooke because I think just fatherhood has kind of made me a little bit more like, okay, cool. Plans are like, if the plans don't happen, like I'm fine with it mostly. But generally my default state is like, if plans get canceled, I'm like,
he's so bummed. So if you cancel on him, just know he's sad. Okay.
I'm sad.
He really is.
But again, as fatherhood has kind of, played its course on my body and my mind,
oh my gosh, so dramatic.
Especially on the body.
You look great, baby.
Thanks, love. I'm working on it. And so, friendships are something that like I highly, highly value. I'm a very social person.
Yep.
I have to have some kind of social aspect every day. It's like something,
so
if I don't get it, like I'm a little bit
He's
more
actually
irritable.
Crabby.
Yeah.
I'm like the
irritable.
opposite. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I'm with people all day long.
She gets irritable.
Ooh, help me.
From being around people.
I'm not my best self.
Yeah.
But I think that with us, I think that with us, like, we just have been very good about, like, if you want to have a friend come over, he'll be like, hey, are you cool if this person comes over tonight? Oh yeah, perfect. Are we making dinner? What's going on? Or I'll communicate like, I do not.
Not tonight.
Like, that's not tonight. I've had a really rough day with the girls. I'm exhausted.
Or she'll say like, that's fine, but the rest of this week, like I'd really like for it to just be
that's another
us.
thing we'll say is like, I'll say, that's fine.
Compromise.
But yeah, that's fine.
Y'all, compromise.
Yeah.
Learn to compromise.
Yeah. It's just, just a lot of communication and understanding, like, I understand that you need people. And then honestly, a lot of times we'll have people over. Very rarely do they leave. And I'm like, gosh, I wish they didn't come over and hang out with us tonight. I'm almost always like, man, I felt like that was so great,
Yeah.
So that's really, and I think that a lot of like most of our friends, you understand this, B, because you're over here all the time. Like all of our friends are like family. So I don't have to dress up. I don't have to have like jeans on. I'll wear my PJs 90% of the time.
No, because wearing jeans is a sin.
That's right. I only wear my dress and my turtleneck. What am I wearing?
Hide them shoulders. You Jezebel.
So
Delilah.
So, oh my Lord. So anyways, I think that that's also made it real easy that like, I don't feel like I have to have everything perfect for people to come over, but communication.
Yeah. Communicate for sure.
And it's actually helped that I don't work. Because then I'm with the kids all day. And so then by the time that like Nate gets home, I'm like, oh, adult human interaction. I always say human interaction, but kids are human. But I always
human interaction.
I mean to say adult interaction. But I'm like, oh yeah, please let's have some friends over so I can have adult conversation once these kids go to bed, And they do go to bed at 9:30.
9:30.
7:30.
God. That is not true.
I'm tired.
7:30.
SOS.
She is done, y'all.
I'm tired.
No, but yeah, I would say I need to prioritize friendships and making time. And so one thing that Brooke and I worked on was devoting family time. Mm-hmm. So like, especially during the summer and spring when the boys are all over, we're playing basketball, we're out, playing disc golf, or we're
having
going
cookouts
fishing or
all the
having
time.
cookouts. Like there's seasons where we have friends over like 4 or 5 days out of the week. Mm-hmm. And then we have church on the weekends and, or we're leading worship on Saturdays and then doing the same thing on Sundays. Like, and so there are seasons where like we have no family time and that's not healthy. And so we've made it a priority over the last couple of years, I'd say really over the last year.
Once we had Addie was when it was like, whoa, we can't keep living like this.
We just we need to devote like, hey, you can have friends over. We can have friends over. I'm cool with it. Speaking as you, like 4 days out of the week, but we need to at least have 1 or 2 days of just family time, undisturbed. Like,
it's also good for our girls. Like they crave Nate's attention.
Yeah.
Forget me. Like who cares about mom? They only want Nate.
So Brooke's standard has been like, we can have people over as much as, almost as much as we'd like, but we need to devote, certain days. However, it's mostly been in this season, a lot of family time, which I've loved.
It's been so good for the girls.
Not as much time for friends. And that hasn't been like, that wasn't the desired thing for the season, but I think in different seasons, everyone will just kind of, I feel like the circles that you're in kind of ebb and flow in similar seasons. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times when life is busy for you, it's also busy for a lot of the people in your circle. And so it might look like at certain seasons that like, oh man, I'm just not talking to this person as much, or I don't know what's going on. Like, but then you stop and think like, oh, I'm pretty busy right now.
Yeah.
They're pretty busy right now, and so that's right now, like our boys.
When was the last time, like we were talking about this with Brandon, the last time we saw him was like a month ago.
Yeah, we haven't hung out for over a month. Like all the guys, like just hanging out. We haven't even gone online to play or anything like that. Like, that's one way that we connect a lot is by getting online and once the family goes to sleep, like just, just unplug and laugh with the boys and have some fun and, play like Call of Duty or whatever. And so, finding ways and time to steward the friendships, calling each other, if you're thinking about them, text them.
Nate's the king of calling you.
Oh, I hate texting. Hate it.
He will call you.
I will take a phone call over a text 10 out of 10 times.
And I'm like, phone call, D and I am clearly busy as I'm sitting on the couch, like doing nothing. I'm cheating.
FaceTime calls, love them. Phone calls, love them even more.
I'll answer if I love you, if I answer, it's because I love you.
If you love me,
If you love me,
you will call
you will
me
call.
or FaceTime me. If you don't care about my well-being, you'll text me.
Honestly, our text thread is proof.
It's pretty sad.
I tell him all the time, like, people will think that I made up a husband because like
Oh, I'm
there
sorry.
are no responses,
I'm sorry.
no love. Like,
That's not
maybe
true. That's not.
every
It's not. There's
5
no responses.
Let's take this. Do not disturb.
There are
off.
responses.
Let's okay.
It's
Watch.
just not-
I'm gonna pull it up and it's gonna be like there are responses.
There are responses. I'm telling you. It's just they're just not like
Okay, you did a little better.
exponential. They're not like a regular text thread. Response.
No, it's like who is Brooke having a conversation with?
Brooke,
right now?
Brooke. Nate. Small little thing.
Small little thing that says maybe I love you. And
No, oh, I tell you, I love you a lot.
no, I'm saying like maybe that's all it says. I love you during the day, which is all I need. Okay. No, he would never.
I don't do
Thank
K.
God.
I don't do K. But I will do like, okay, cool.
That's signature phrase.
Or I love you.
Yeah.
You know, just, but I just,
How we got on this? I don't remember.
I'm not a great texter.
It's okay. I still
Not a
love
great
you.
texter.
You were
So-
when we were dating.
Call me, y'all. Just call me.
You just ignored it.
No, I heard her. I
It's
heard
not
her.
true, guys. I'm just joking with them.
Girl, I was trying to woo you, girl. I was
You
trying
actually-
to put you in a bag.
You actually
I said
FaceTimed me.
D9. Get me that snack right now. Let's go. So I had to text you.
You actually FaceTimed me a lot more.
I did.
So, anyways,
I wanted to see that face, girl. Cute little face, cute little nose.
my red hair at the time.
She did have red hair for a little bit.
Oh, Jesus. You didn't know me. Those were the
She also
days.
had orange hair.
Because I was trying to get it back blonde.
She had Texas Longhorn orange hair.
Yes, I do.
Yep.
I know that struggle.
Yeah, you
Oh,
do.
yeah.
You
My hair
do.
was definitely orange.
Mine looked just like that. Actually, exactly how yours. Probably worse. Because I was trying to get back blonde. And I've never been red again for that exact reason.
Look,
It's a rough transition.
I'm just going to be honest. I feel like a black guy could rock orange hair. A white girl
This.
cannot rock
Compass.
orange hair,
Look,
bro.
give me that hat. Like,
Okay,
just
maybe she
put it on my
could.
head.
I'm sure that there's great examples
There are
online.
redheads that have more orangey hair.
No. It was
Yeah.
like, it wasn't like a happy accident. It was like, oh, that was an accident. Does that make sense?
It
It
is
was
like
like,
Texas Longhorn
It was like-
orange.
We're talking burnt orange.
it was
It was
on my head.
orange.
So ugly. And then Haley Smith at the time, now she's Runnels, fixed it. Praise God for Haley because
The same Haley that got pregnant or found out she was
the
pregnant
one
the
we
day
talked
before.
about. Yeah.
You found out you were pregnant.
Yeah.
Yes.
She fixed my hair. Praise God. In our dorm room.
If you live in El Dorado,
Arkansas, Texas.
Arkansas, not Tech. What'd you say?
Arkansas, Texas.
Arkansas,
Y'all,
Texas.
Send me to bed.
What
So
did you
much-
just say?
S-
Arkansas,
Oh,
Texas. El Dorado, Arkansas.
That's what I meant to say. I'm so tired. But let's.
Hi, my name's Haley. Y'all tell them the story about Haley the first time you met her.
Okay, this will be the last. Like,
No, I have one more question after this, but please.
okay, so when I met Haley, which I like, Haley is amazing, but Haley's from Arkansas, and she talked so her
It sounded like a
thick.
like she's amazing, but she's from Arkansas.
No, that's not what I
totally kidding.
meant. But she
Hi,
had,
my name's Haley.
she had such a thick
I'm
accent.
doing
guys.
such a bad
Hold
job.
on,
Go ahead.
you're doing a terrible job. So we move in, and her and I are sharing a
Oh
room,
my god,
and I am trying to get my stuff unpacked. And
Brandon is
Listen, he's
losing it
losing
right
it.
now.
Listen.
Y'all can't see him, but he is losing it.
so I'm starting to get my stuff unpacked, and she's trying to tell me the story, and she's talking, and I can't understand a word she's saying, and
You're from Arlington,
I'm from here.
you know, so you have a little bit of a southern draw, but like
I mean, I went to school by Fort Worth, Texas, so like I get it, but hers was like she talked fast and real southern. She would be like,
country.
"Hi, my name's Charlie." No, I just
What? Try again.
Haley. Hold on.
Oh,
You can
y'all.
stop listening because it's just us laughing. Haley did not sound like that, but I'm not good
Well,
at
like
accents.
just very southern.
She was real country, but talked
Y'all, I wish y'all
real
could see Brandon right now.
talked-
Oh my god.
She talked real country, but real fast. So like how country?
Hi, my name's Haley.
Yeah.
Just a bit like quick and fast and,
And so
like super thick.
I first meet her, and this first meeting, I had to ask her what like 4 times. And by that time, I just finally looked at her and I said, Haley, I can't understand you. I'm so sorry. And she said, I know my accent's real strong. I'm like, yeah, I can't understand anything you're saying. As I got to know her more, it's like I was immersed into the culture. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like when you go to Mexico and you just live there.
Yeah.
I just lived with
But
Arkansas.
I also think that like getting out, like I feel like her getting out of that and coming to Dallas, like it took her a little while to like for her accent to like
I'd be
get
interested.
less strong.
We should call her one day. And see if she answers.
She's back at her home, like
Hometown.
that. Whatever accent like became a little more normal, gained it right back. Guaranteed.
Honestly, I love it though. Like everyone knew her because of her. Like they're like,
she's
oh, Haley, the one with the the country accent. Like everyone knew her.
She is the sister. She is awesome.
She's the best.
It's been it's been a little while, but
been a minute. But we had kids at the exact same time. Both our kids are right around the same age.
Yep.
So go ahead with your next question after we just all got our laugh for the day. I cannot do impersonations.
was
I'm so
funny,
sorry. Or like
babe.
accents. Don't ever ask me to do that ever again.
So, last question. So, Brooke can go to sleep. What are you the most excited about going forward into the next season? Like, what topics, what guests, or just in general? Like, what excites you the most about the next season?
Do you want me to start? You start.
do you want, I can go?
You can start.
Sure. So we want to continue having the conversation revolving around porn just because I feel like there's a lot of conversation online about it, but I don't know, man. It seems a lot of the conversations are unbalanced or maybe just don't have a lot of tact or don't have a lot of grace. And I don't know, man. I feel like I want to help guys through the problem. And I also want to help women. I want us to help women with the kind of the way that you've had so much grace over the issue and patience while you know that I'm working and have worked through the issue.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the big things that I want to continue doing. And I want to bring in, people in our life who have their story to share, that, their details of it are, different than ours.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to give different perspectives. We understand that topic is such a, it's such a wide gamut when it comes to the details per relationship. And so, I've got some friends that I'd like to bring in on the topic. And I'm really excited. Brooke and I talked about doing a conversation on the topic where it's just her and other women in her life who have, walked through something similar in their marriage. And it just being a conversation about porn in marriage from the women's perspective. And I don't know how many, I'm sure that there are other women out there talking about it in other podcasts or whatever. There's a podcast for everything. But,
So
but I don't know. I just think y'all have something valuable to bring to that conversation. Very valuable. So I'm excited for that one.
Something that we are thinking about doing is talking about Christian dating and how our story I'm excited for that one.
Christian dating, how we overdid it and how we did it right, and how the church kind of handles Christian dating, and just the whole purity culture thing and how that's affected how we think of dating and the opposite sex and just all of that. And so that'll be a fun
excited
conversation.
for that one.
We've got one about boundaries in marriage.
Yeah.
Just boundaries in relationships, just learning.
Something that we've really had to walk through.
Yeah. We have had to walk through.
Because Nate's the nicest person in the world and I'm the opposite.
I'm very nice, and it often leads me to not realize, I probably shouldn't have,
Nothing ever
talked-
bad. Don't anyone think he's being a weirdo.
No.
But
Not being a weirdo. I'm just,
or did
sometimes-
anything bad.
sometimes I put myself in situations where it's like, I'm making someone mad because I'm talking to their significant other too much. even if it's just like videos and stuff, just being aware of like, hey bro, boundaries, you know, and even with my wife, you know, just like learning, hey, does it bother you when I talk to this person? Because maybe I had, you know, a past relationship with this person. Like, I know that seems like such an obvious answer, but y'all,
It's not.
I haven't always been that aware.
Yeah.
Because for me,
Nate views everyone as a friend.
yeah.
Well, anyways, we'll go into this one day.
We'll get into it.
But that's really what it is. Nate views everyone as a friend, and so we've had to learn boundaries.
Sometimes I'm not self-aware.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So just learning different boundaries, learning each other, being willing to even if I don't feel like I've done anything wrong, if it's affected her, I, as her spouse, need to guard her heart.
Yeah.
I have a responsibility to my spouse. She has a responsibility to me.
Yeah.
You know, to guard my heart, for me to help guard hers.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it means that, you know, we got to stop certain friendships, you know, even if it means whatever it might mean. And so that's going to be another conversation we're excited to have.
Yeah.
Just kind of our journey with that.
I'm sure there's more, but we all know I can't read if I even tried. So
Yeah. Yeah. So we got a lot more than like just a lot more different.
we got time to make these all.
Yeah. But we're also going to
maybe one or two Q&A.
Yeah, well, we're gonna be putting this up on Spotify, and Spotify now allows for like Q&As and polls and stuff like that, and so it's really cool. And if you are watching on Spotify, you get the benefit of watching us on video as well. So shout out to all our Spotify listeners. You are the real champs. You're the real winners because you get to utilize all of that.
Yeah.
You Apple people, first of all, I'm an Apple person, but Spotify is just so much better than Apple Music. Get on Spotify. Leave Apple Music. Have a Mac, have an iPhone, have an iPad, whatever. Have all the Apple product in the world. I'm all about it. Get Spotify. Yeah.
That's a wrap.
That's pretty much that. B, you got anything else for us, bro?
No.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Congratulations, guys.
This has been
Let's do it.
Season
1, y'all. Thank you for joining us, being with us through this whole journey. Excited for second season. We'll see you guys then. We love y'all. Look like Jesus. Love like Jesus. We're out.